Well, as if the market wasn't cool enough, the BC government has decided to announce today their cooling off period for what might be the coolest market that we've seen since, 2008. So thank you, government. I wasn't going to do a video today because I'm trying to only do them once a week for the summer, but I couldn't not do this one today because it's such a big impact on British Columbia's real estate. So if you like the channel and want to stay up to date on the market, please remember to subscribe and click the like button so more people like you can learn about this cooling off period. And today I'm just gonna, no edits, just gonna go through the press release directly from the government so I can show you exactly what they have said, give you my thoughts on it, and I'm sure none of this will actually be what I would call, full and complete. This is just, I would assume, a press release. I have not read it yet, so let's jump in and take a look. This is directly from news.gov.bc.ca, and I just got this, so I'm assuming it was just released. I'm not sure when, but I just, got a bunch of text messages about it. So let's take a peek and see what they have to say. A new home buyer protection period will protect people in BC looking to buy a home from being pressured into high-risk sales. It will protect the home buyers, but not the home sellers. I'm going to give you my commentary as we keep going. So as we all know, if you don't already know, it was November 4th, 6th, 3rd, something like that of last year. The BC said, hey, the market is too hot. So we're going to bring in a home buyer protection, which is a rescission period, meaning any buyer can back out of any contract at any time for any reason. That is already in place in new construction, and the reason it wasn't in place with resale is because most resale properties are held by other citizens, just like you. But now we've gone through a crazy, crazy hot market, and at the exact same time, this didn't come in play. And I'm going to keep going here because I'm sure the first thing they're going to tell us, I see a date. The home buyer protection period will come into effect on January 1, 2023. So thank you so much, BC government. You have enacted something that really needed to be in place more than 2 years ago. Probably July 2020 would have been a nice time to have it in place. And now you're going to put it in 6 months from now, which we are currently also in the coolest market of all time. But buyer protection, here you go. It includes a rescission or cancellation fee of 0.25% of the purchase price, or $250 for every $100,000 that is in the contract. So thank you, BC government. You are now costing buyers to get out of contracts when before they didn't need to. Again, I'm pointing out how absolutely silly this is. So they're saying, for instance, if you write an offer on a property and you want to back out during the rescission period, there is a very good chance that if that is $1 million, you are somehow going to pay $2,500 directly, by the way, to the seller, right? So the seller gets that money, not the real estate agents, everybody else. You get a small fee. I mean, $2,500 isn't probably enough to deter people that weren't really making serious offers in the first place, but not really enough to hold anybody's feet to the flame. Now, here's what I am interested in knowing is how does that get paid, right? So if we're in negotiation, you are going to write an offer. We're going to go back and forth. Now I need a set amount to be transferred to the seller if you're going to back out in that period. I really hope the BC government doesn't think sellers are actually going to go track down $2,500 after the fact, after somebody walks away. So I'm very interested to see exactly how this is going to happen. I know they're going to, bring a check. Personal checks can be canceled, right? A personal check can be canceled before it's even cashed. Bring a bank draft. Well, what if the price changes? I don't know. All sorts of absolutely silly things. But let's keep going. Maybe they explain. I'm going to bet they don't, but maybe they explain. Buyers still make offers conditional on a home inspection or financing at any time. The buyer protection period will offer home buyers the opportunity for due diligence at times when conditions are not in place. Interesting. Okay, so now let me think about, as a real estate agent, I'm going to immediately think about how can I get around this when conditions are not in place. So if I make a subject-free offer, I have a 3-day period, is what they've said here. It is 3 days. Sorry, that was mentioned up a little bit higher up. I think it's 3 days. Is it 3 days? No, it is 3 days. I heard this was leaked previously. Yeah, it is. The mandatory 3-day period. There we go. So you are going to go ahead and make your offer without conditions. There's mandatory 3 days now of which you can pull back and pay a fee. But what happens if I write a 1-day condition? That is now, as far as I'm concerned, for the seller, a better offer because I'm going to know in 24 rather than 72 hours. So I don't understand how this whole thing is going to come together, and they haven't exactly explained this. So can I now just get immediately around this? And they also have not prohibited anything about, for instance, direct to seller deposits. So another way to get around this is if I go non-conditional, I can pay the deposit direct to seller, becomes now unconditional. You're not getting that money back in the event that I do want to pull out in my 3 days. What happens if a inspection, or I guess inspection and financing condition are 7 days, then that really doesn't matter either. The 3-day period is also not there. So it is very strange. I'm sorry I'm blabbering a little bit, but I'm trying to think through this. It is extremely strange that if you have conditions, the 3 days is there. So if I'm a buyer, now again, trying to think out around ways to do this, if I'm a buyer, then do I not just do 4-day conditions all of the time to avoid ever having to move out in those 3 days? If those 3 days extend past my 1-day condition, I don't know. This is all absolutely silly, but let's keep going. Home buyer protection period is informed. Okay, so this is basically how they did finally do a consultation after it was announced. I don't know, all kind of silly if you ask me. Then we have quotes from the BCFSA, which is my governing body of the real estate agents. Buying and selling a home are the most significant financial transactions in most people's lives. The parameters to implement a home buyer protection period, as well as potential consumer protection enhancements set forth by blah, 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 blah. What is, we consolidated with 140 stakeholders. Well, I wasn't one of them. I don't know who is, but I know the BC REA actually did have their piece. Now, what I'm shocked at here is that's as far as it goes. Let's look at quick facts. BCFSA is obviously they're in charge of us and mortgage brokers and financial people. BC will be the first province to implement this. We are the first province to implement everything. Welcome to the left coast where we regulate the crap out of everything because the free market is terrible, apparently. Cooling off period for pre-construction sales of multi-development properties like condominiums are in place under the Real Estate Development Act already. That is true, and that is because the developer has a whole ton of other products, and they're a savvy developer with a lot of money behind them, and single sellers of homes are not. Unfortunately, it looks like the details of this have not been released whatsoever. I will commit to bringing you the fine print, which is the part that's going to hurt you as the home seller, and apparently with a fee may hurt you as the home buyer now to back out of contracts. So I'm interested to think what you think down below in the description, and specifically if you think something like this is even needed now that the market is declining and anything but hot. It does not need to cool off right now whatsoever. And what do you think about it coming in, not even for the next, let's call it 5 or 6 months? Put that all down below in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear what you have to say about it. My personal thought is that no, you should never make a rule to address market condition because market conditions change. BC government, as we have just realized that the market conditions has changed before you could even get your law into place. And they passed this law with a blank check. So they could have done this in November, and it was not. So I don't know. it's all kind of silly. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe if you would like to stay up to date on Fraser Valley and BC, and well, BC in this case, Canadian, or my market here in Surrey, BC. Subscribe to the channel, click the like button, help me get this information out to more people. And if you need specific advice here in BC or my market of the Fraser Valley, please go ahead and book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time. That works best for you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on Monday with my regularly scheduled video.